A lone hacker brings a nation to the brink. Cyber attacks that struck at the heart of Ukraine just before war erupted. The digital battlefield saw critical systems go dark, leaving the world reeling. Behind it all, a 22-year-old Russian hacker, allegedly backed by Russia's shadowy military intelligence, orchestrated the chaos. Now, with a $10 million bounty on his head, the hunt is on. How did these attacks unfold, and what secrets lie behind this covert operation? Let's dive into the story that shook the world of cybersecurity. He's known as Amin Timovich Stigal, a name whispered in the dark alleys of the internet, feared by those who understand the chaos he can unleash. A 22-year-old with a knack for breaching even the most secure systems, he's described as a prodigy by some and a digital mercenary by others. His origins remain shrouded in mystery, but what's clear is his expertise. From crafting sophisticated malware to slipping past firewalls, he wields his skills like a weapon. His digital footprint has led investigators to encrypted chat rooms and hidden forums where he boasts of his capabilities. Yet despite his bravado, little is truly known about Stigal. Who is he behind the screen? And why would such a skilled hacker team up with Russia's military intelligence, the GRU? The answers remain elusive, but his actions have left an undeniable mark on the world stage. In the months leading up to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, an unseen war unfolded online. Ukrainian government institutions became the primary targets, with ministries from international affairs to education facing relentless attacks. But this wasn't just about stealing secrets, it was about erasing data and paralyzing critical infrastructure. Hospitals found patient records compromised, and the Ministry of Digital Transformation saw its services ground to a halt. Websites that once provided essential public information were defaced, their messages replaced with chilling threats. Even beyond the halls of government, businesses faced disruptions and everyday citizens struggled as vital systems faltered. Transportation networks in neighboring countries that supported Ukraine soon faced similar attacks, as if to send a warning. It wasn't just a cyber incident, it was a digital siege, where the lines between civilian and military targets blurred, leaving a nation and its allies vulnerable. On the other side of the digital divide, a team of international cybersecurity experts and law enforcement agents banded together to track down the mastermind behind these attacks. Leading the charge was the FBI, joined by agencies across Europe and cybersecurity firms from around the globe. Their mission was daunting: to untangle the web of digital trails left by a hacker skilled in covering his tracks. They combed through encrypted messages, analyzed malware code, and worked to reverse engineer the WhisperGate virus used in the attacks. Each clue brought them closer to understanding the scale of the operation. As they connected the dots, the involvement of the GRU, the shadowy Russian military intelligence, became clear, adding layers of geopolitical tension to their pursuit. With a $10 million reward on the line, the stakes grew higher. But as they followed the breadcrumbs, one question loomed large. Could they catch him before he disappeared again? The attacks began like whispers, small disruptions in Ukraine's digital networks that few could have predicted would spiral into a nationwide crisis. By January 2022, these whispers became a roar, as the WhisperGate malware slipped silently into Ukrainian government servers. With surgical precision, the malware bypassed defenses, masked as harmless ransomware. But this was no ordinary virus. It was a weapon designed to destroy. Whole systems went dark. Critical data vanished and messages appeared on public-facing websites, taunting citizens. All information about you has become public, be afraid. Panic spread through Ukraine's digital infrastructure, from the Ministry of International Affairs to the State Treasury. Hospitals, transport systems, even the Ministry of Agriculture faced disruptions. The attacks were coordinated, relentless, and targeted. As the malware spread, analysts noticed patterns, coded commands that suggested military-grade expertise. It wasn't just about chaos, it was a psychological warfare, intended to break the nation's spirit before the tanks even rolled in. The turning point came when the FBI, after months of combing through digital trails, made a stunning announcement. The mastermind behind the attacks was none other than Amin Timovich Stigal. His name quickly became infamous as the Department of Justice released details of his indictment. A young hacker, just 22 years old, but with the skills to cripple a nation's digital backbone. The revelation sent shockwaves through global intelligence communities, but it wasn't just the name that made headlines, it was the $10 million reward the FBI put up for his capture. The offer sparked an international manhunt with law enforcement agencies, cybersecurity experts, and even amateur sleuths joining the chase. Stigal's profile shot to the top of the FBI's most wanted cybercriminals list. The world watched as a digital cat-and-mouse game unfolded across borders, and the question hung in the air. Could anyone catch a hacker who seemed to always be one step ahead?
But the story didn't end with the FBI's announcement. Stigal, now aware of the heat closing in, took to the dark corners of the internet, where he taunted his pursuers. Through anonymous forums, he dropped cryptic messages claiming that he was untouchable, a ghost in the digital realm. Reports emerged of his attempts to shift servers, using proxies and encrypted networks to obscure his location. Yet even as he moved through these digital shadows, the international response intensified. Cybersecurity firms doubled down, deploying advanced algorithms to trace his movements, while law enforcement agencies from Europe to the United States coordinated efforts to track him down. Nations allied with Ukraine tightened their cyber defenses, bracing for retaliation. The manhunt stretched from hidden server farms in Eastern Europe to the data centers of Silicon Valley. With each passing day, the stakes grew higher, and the tension between Stigal's defiance and the world's determination to capture him only escalated. As the cyber attacks rippled through Ukraine, the fallout wasn't just felt in government offices, it hit ordinary people the hardest. Picture this. Natalia, a teacher from Kiev, woke up one morning to find that her access to essential government services had vanished. She couldn't log in to the digital portal where she managed her class schedules and payroll. Panic set in when she realized that her personal data, along with that of her students, had potentially been exposed. Across the city, Ole, a hospital administrator, struggled to maintain order as patient records disappeared, leaving doctors unable to access critical medical histories. He recalls, "It was chaos. We couldn't treat patients without knowing their conditions." Everything was in disarray, and there was a sense of helplessness. These stories were echoed across the country. Farmers unable to access subsidies, families struggling to renew passports, and small business owners who couldn't process payments or access bank records. The whispers of "all your information has become public" felt like a dark cloud hanging over the entire nation. People feared that their private details could be used against them, leading to sleepless nights and growing distrust in the safety of the digital world they had come to rely on. The impact wasn't just in lost data, it was in the shattered sense of security. It made the conflict feel more personal, more invasive, as if the war had reached directly into their homes. To understand the gravity of the situation, we spoke with experts who shed light on the broader implications of these cyber attacks. Dr. Elena Petrov, a cybersecurity analyst with years of experience in tracking Eastern European cyber threats, emphasized the unprecedented scale of the attacks. This wasn't just about stealing data or disrupting services, it was a calculated assault on Ukraine's morale and stability, she explained. According to her, the use of WhisperGate malware was a game changer. WhisperGate wasn't meant to ransom data. It was meant to wipe it out entirely, to create a sense of vulnerability and chaos, she added. Political analyst Mark Reynolds noted the strategic timing of the attacks. It's clear that these cyber strikes were coordinated with Russia's military plans. The aim was to weaken Ukraine's resilience before physical troops crossed the border, he said. For Reynolds, the involvement of the GRU signals a shift in how warfare is conducted. We're seeing cyber tools being used as a precursor to traditional military actions, creating a new kind of battlefield where information and infrastructure are the primary targets. But perhaps the most chilling insight came from former NSA operative John Mitchell, who warned that Stigal's methods were a sign of what might come in the future. He's part of a new breed of cybercriminals, hackers who are not just motivated by money, but by ideology, and who have the backing of state power. It's a combination that makes them incredibly dangerous. These perspectives make one thing clear. This isn't just about one hacker, it's about a new era of digital conflict that has the potential to change global security forever. As of now, the hunt for Amin Timovich Stigal continues, stretching from the digital back alleys of the dark web to the remote corners of Eastern Europe. Despite the intense efforts of law enforcement and cybersecurity experts, Stigal remains a step ahead, slipping through the fingers of those chasing him. The $10 million reward stands as a testament to the urgency of his capture, a symbol of how much is at stake. Meanwhile, the echoes of his actions still linger in Ukraine. Government systems have gradually been restored, but the scars of those cyber attacks remain fresh. The data loss, the disruptions, and the fear, these are wounds that will take time to heal. Ukrainian citizens and their allies remain on high alert, aware that this new frontier of warfare is far from closed. And for the international community, the events of early 2022 serve as a grim reminder of the power that a single individual with the right tools and backing can wield. The story of Stigal is not just about one hacker. It's about a digital battleground that could be the future of global conflict. As you finish watching this story, take a moment to consider the digital world we all live in. Cybersecurity isn't just for governments or big corporations. It's a matter that touches all of us. From our personal data to the critical infrastructure that keeps societies running, we are all interconnected in this digital age. And with geopolitical tensions simmering beneath the surface, incidents like the attacks on Ukraine remind us of the vulnerabilities that come with progress. Think about what steps you can take to protect yourself online, whether it's using stronger passwords, enabling two-factor authentication, or simply being aware of the threats that exist. But beyond personal safety, this story should make us question the role of nations in these conflicts. How do we prepare for a world where wars are fought not just on battlefields, but in the shadows of cyberspace? Stay vigilant, stay informed, and remember that in today's world, the next attack might be just a click away.